Hi Libra, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol and this is going to be a general reading for you. And you'll notice there's no date on this reading because I trust that when it comes into your feed and you're listening to it, it was meant for you. So let's get started with today's reading. We're going to be doing how to get more love in your life. And this is a big topic, and it's actually very courageous of you to click on my video and try to figure out, okay, try to figure out some patterns that maybe are going on with your life. We all want authentic relationships. And sometimes, you know, we can just continue to attract the same types of people in our life, and we can't figure out why. And so we're going to look at a blind spot for sure. We're going to start off with that in this reading and look at, you know, maybe a pattern that's maybe showing up for you, and I need to bring some awareness to it. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to look at what it is from your unconscious, from maybe your shadow, the part of you that, you know, would have been from your adolescence or your childhood that is stopping you from getting the love that you want. And that's the part we don't know. Like, we can understand, okay, maybe this is showing up for me, this pattern, and, you know, this blind spot I have. Okay, but where is it coming from? So I'm going to really try to take the focus off, you know, whoever's out there or whatever this person is for you, or these people in your life where you're trying to get the love from. And it's not an intimate partner necessarily. It could be, but it could be, you know, just love in general, friends, people. You know, sometimes we have the same things going on with our life. We don't understand why we have these same patterns, these same issues, problems that are coming up. And so we're going to look at what's stopping it. And then finally, we're going to ask for some advice from the tarot as to, you know, how can you begin to shift or heal this response that you have to this pattern of love, around love, that's showing up for you all the time. So let's start off, Libra, with, I'm going to use the Tarot of the Abyss. And then I'm going to clarify it with... I think I'm going to use the Vintage Tarot to clarify it. All right, so let's start with one card, and I'm going to ask for a card for Libra to see what blind spot Libra has around love. So one card for that, please. Haven't used this deck for a while, so maybe, oh, there it is. I was going to say, maybe it'll be clear, maybe it'll be quiet. You have the Nine of Cups in reverse. The Nine of Cups in reverse. And what's stopping Libra from getting the love that they want? One card. What's stopping Libra from getting the love that they want? Okay, you have the Seven of Wands. Oops. I tried to land it. And the Hermit card. And the Hermit card. And love this deck. It's been a while since I've used it. And the last one is, how can I begin to shift or heal? How can Libra begin to shift or heal their response around this pattern? This pattern that has to do with love. That's going to come up for us for sure. One card for that, and that one is the Queen of Cups. Beautiful queen that you got, the Queen of Cups. And so you have two cup cards, and cup cards are all about our emotions. No surprise that you have cup cards coming up in this reading. All right, so let's turn to the Tarot Vintage right now. I've pre-shuffled these decks before I came on, Libra. So Nine of Cups, can you give me some couple cards for clarification for the Nine of Cups? All right, you got the Ace of Cups, sideways position here, and the Three of Wands in reverse. How about the Seven of Wands and the Hermit? One or two cards here. I only need one, but we'll see what comes out. Okay, so I got a lot here. I got the Two of Pentacles in reverse. And then I got these 3 cards, and normally I don't take this many, but they came out. So we're going to see. 3 of Swords in reverse. A little bit of a story here. Queen of Swords in reverse. And the Magician card. Okay, I'm going to put this like this. Maybe that'll help. Perfect. Okay, Queen of Cups. Couple cards, please. Oh, I thought there was one that flipped from before. Couple cards. Queen of Cups. Got one. Just need one more. There we go. Love how that came popping out of there. All right, so we got the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Death card in reverse. Interesting combination of those two. Okay. So, Libra, let's begin. You start off with the 9 of Cups. So what blind spot do you have around love? 9 of Cups is an interesting card to start off with. It's in reverse and in an upright position. Then you have this woman, you know, she's decided to take all her emotions, and emotions are all about cups. And so she's decided to take all these cups and, you know, rather than feel her emotions, I'm going to put some flowers in it. I'm going to grow, and then I can smell these beautiful flowers that I have coming out of these cups. So she's used these cups for her flowers. There's flower pots, right? But she's missing one cup because the completion is 10, the 10 of Cups, right, of that suit. And so she stopped at 9. So yeah, I'm gonna grow some flowers here, and I'm gonna use it to just smell these flowers. I'm going to just take the time to sniff it. And but it's in reverse here. Because, you know, there's a real fear on this woman's part to go to that 10th cup. She's decided, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop feeling. I think you're sitting in a place where you're afraid to go a little bit deeper into your emotions. You're afraid to take that last cup and feel. And so there's a real fear here on your part to looking at your relationships for what they really are. And I say that because, Libra, you have as a sign a real need, tremendous need to be in a relationship. And a lot of times, because Libra is that sign that has that real need to be in a relationship, we can become people pleasers. And so that would mean that oftentimes, you know, we kind of put our needs away, and we don't really look at how we feel, because there's just this real kind of this word desperation came up to be in a relationship, right? Because here's the Ace of Cups here in a sideways position, and I just, without seeing that card, I saw this as like you're not wanting to look at that 10th cup, but here is the 10th cup. Here's the Ace of Cups. Here's the universe kind of saying, an ace is a gift from the universe, and you're kind of you're not quite sure if you want to take it here, right? This is like, here you go. Here's this 10th cup. Here's this 10th cup to feel. Here's this 10th cup to really get in your body and to ground into it and find out, you know, what do I feel about this relationship or these relationships, whatever it is. What do I feel about them when you're in these relationships, whether it's a relationship with a friend? What do I feel? Like, what's my part of this? I can kind of, I'm so focused on, you know, being that people pleaser and worried about other people around me, when I don't really take that cup and look at, okay, what do I feel about this? And, you know, there's the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands talks about this individual in an upright position that looking out there, looking out to see if there's something else, looking out to see if there's another emotion there floating on that water. I mean, water is all about emotions, right? But this came in reverse here. And so I can see here that there's just, real resistance on your part to even looking at, what does this mean for me? What about me in all of this? It's kind of like you're kind of this individual that's kind of lost and not seeing what direction they want to go in. And so maybe you're someone that gets lost in your relationships where the you doesn't matter anymore. And so let's look at, there's a big story here that's coming up in your unconscious, in your shadow. This is from your childhood, right? This is where all our patterns start to form from when we were young and when we were a teenager. This is where we learned about love and relationships. And so if this pattern of you, what about Libra? Where's Libra in all of this? Well, we're going to go and find out, and where you learned about that pattern and that thing where you of losing yourself in your relationships. Well, here's the first card that comes out. No surprises, the Seven of Wands for you. And so this is the part of what's stopping you from getting the love that you really want. Here's this individual right here who's standing on this pedestal, right? And almost like saying, look at me, notice me, can you see me? And this is a real card of not getting validated, not being supported. These individuals trying to pull this person down from this pedestal and saying, like, who do you think you are? You come down from that pedestal because you don't matter as much as you think you do. Or and often I see this card is a real card of loneliness. It's a real lonely place to be when you are not surrounded by people who are supporting you and validating you. And then the Hermit card comes in as a clarifier for this card. And look at this Hermit card. Like, it's just this individual that's been on this journey for so long, right? Of trying to find out, who they are. And she has this snake in her hand. Snake so much talks about transformation, shedding your skin and becoming this new individual. And I think there was a part of you when you were younger that yearned to be you. Yearned to be this wanting to be noticed, wanting to be this new person, wanting to shed this skin, wanting to come out and have people see who you were, wanting to be noticed. And it wasn't happening. It didn't happen. So let's look at what else, the other clarifiers for this. Two of Pentacles comes out as a card that means, the Two of Pentacles is this juggler that's juggling these two pentacles, right? And the Pentacle speaks about the body. The Pentacle is the body. And I think when you were younger that, I often say that when this card is not sitting in someone's unconscious, it's a person that's very much distracted and multitasking and very much up in their head and confused, almost like could almost be like dissociated, right? Very, very unsure because they're not grounded. They're not juggling on 2 feet. They're on 1 foot here, right? And look at the water in the background. Like these are the emotions of that individual. Water's always about emotions, right? Just so much turbulence with your emotions when you were younger. Very, very, a lot of turbulence. And it's in reverse here. Because I think there was a part of you that wasn't allowed to feel those emotions. Put those away. Weren't validated, weren't supported. Not allowed to feel your emotions. And that explains why we talked about here where you've lost sense of who you are. Like, that 9 of Cups where it was like, I'm not allowed to touch that 10th. I'm not allowed to go a little bit deeper. My emotions don't matter. My emotions don't matter to me. And why you get lost in your relationships. And then your next card that comes out here is this 4 of Swords when you were younger. Four of Swords speaks about this. Swords is all about our mental energy. You know, those thoughts that we have in our head, those things that we tell ourselves. Those are the things that people told us when we were younger. And, you know, I think there was a real need for you to be in a quiet place. This talks about getting quiet, being still, you know. But I think you were in an environment that was very, I want to say chaotic when you were younger. And not a lot of time for you to be still as a child, right? Wasn't a lot of quiet time. And that can really cause us to be that people pleaser, right? Trying to control your environment when you were younger, and you do that by trying to please other people. And this is where we start forgetting ourselves, forgetting about our own emotions, because we start to be worried about the people around us. It's very important that the people around us, because that way you can get a sense of control. You have control in your life, because you didn't have control in your life. It was very chaotic. I see that. And that's why you felt unsupported and invalidated. And then you have the Queen of Swords here in reverse. And here's the sword again. And in particular, this queen, she's the feminine side, the feminine aspect to herself. We have a masculine and a feminine side to us. And this is the feminine qualities. She's the queen with her sword. And she's very much about authenticity. Her sword is truth. She's the queen that cuts through all the bullshit. And very much goes towards authenticity and truth with her sword. And I think the whole part of being authentic, being taught authentic relationships when you were younger, you weren't taught what it meant to be in an authentic relationship and what an authentic relationship really is, right? You weren't shown that when you were younger. And here's your Magician card. And that's the last card that came in at the end here. And the Magician speaks about the capability that we have to manifest things in our life, to be able to have what we want. And I think that got taken away. It's buried in your shadow. You buried that. So there's very much a part of you that feels that you can't have what you want. You can't have the love you want. You can't have the authentic relationships that you want. It's very much buried here because you were taught that, you know, you didn't matter and what you felt didn't matter. And so you were very much, like I said, someone that became this people pleaser, and you lost yourself in your relationships. And so you continue to do that with anybody you meet, right? It's always about their needs, and let's keep them happy, because that's your way of feeling safe. That's your way of controlling your outer environment. But really, there's a lot of healing that needs to be done inwards, right? This is this Hermit card right here, going inwards, right? Because there's a real new you here that is wanting to come out here, the real you, the authentic you. But it's over here to be healed. It needs to be healed. And so where do you begin? How do you begin to shift this? How do you begin to heal this pattern, this people-pleasing pattern, this losing yourself in your relationships and worried about what other people think? And maybe you know you're like that, you know? But the hardest part about that is, all right, so what do I do about it, right? And this is what this reading is about. Well, you have the Queen of Cups here, and beautiful that you have two queens in this reading, because like I said, the queens are our feminine side, and it's the side that really has been repressed in us for a long time. Has nothing to do with gender, because we all have this side of us. And she's the Queen of Cups. She is the queen of our emotions, right? You have cups. You have a lot, not a lot, but you have some cups in your relation, in important cup cards you have here, you know, wanting to get to that 10th cup. And now the Queen of Cups. And this is the advice from the tarot. It's time, Libra, that you start to get in touch with those emotions when you were younger of not mattering and not feeling like your emotions mattered. She's the queen. She lives by her emotions. All her emotions that come in, she takes time to feel them, to process them because they're important to her, and then they go out. So she really is someone that feels important enough that she's going to feel her emotions. They're her emotions. They come in and I'm going to feel them. And that's how she gets her answers to her next step in her life. Because I feel here that you have two important cards that I think are important for you right now, that are crucial to this reading. Because you have a Knight of Swords and then you have the Death card. The Knight of Swords is the Knights in my deck, and especially when it comes to love, this is what I call that part of you that will push people away because it doesn't trust people. You can have people that come into your life that are really meant for you, and you've just learned to just push people away because you don't trust anybody. I mean, how can you? You didn't learn authentic relationships when you were younger. So now you're sitting in a position where if that love were to come in, if that real love were to come in, you're going to have a part of you, and you're not really going to realize, maybe you do realize this is happening, but you're not going to know why. But there's a part of you that's unhealed that will continue to push these people away because they don't trust. They don't trust anybody because they're wanting you to be authentic. This I call this a freedom fighter. It wants you to be authentic. It wants you to go towards authenticity, but yet it doesn't trust anybody. And so there is really a part of you that doesn't trust relationships. And the last card is the Death card that comes in reverse. And in an upright position, this is an individual that has this, this card talks about letting things go in your life, letting people go, letting things that habits sometimes, but because we're talking about people here in love, and I think we're going to look at this from that perspective. I think there's a real part of you that, like I said, that pushes people away because they don't trust people, and it's kind of like you've lost that. You don't have that discernment anymore. Like, okay, this person needs to go. This person can stay. It's like you're not sure. You're not sure now. What people are safe and what people aren't safe, and so it really is a time for you. I think this main card that came out with this Queen of Cups, it really is a time for you to learn how to ground and bring the focus in on you and say, okay, I'm going to learn how to ground myself, and I want to start to feel some of these really deep emotions that have that I felt when I was younger, when I was taught that I didn't matter, when people didn't validate my own emotions, when I was taught I didn't matter, and when I was taught to be that people pleaser that I am and to put others' needs ahead of mine. It's time now that I'm going to pull all of that in. And I'm gonna focus in on me now. And so I think I'm gonna leave you with a playlist on how to ground yourself and how to get into your body, how to get in touch with those emotions like this Queen does, how to start feeling what you really feel, Libra, and not what other people's needs are and what they feel. Those have to come. It has to come to a point in your life where you just go, you know what? I matter now. I'm mattering. And that is the hardest thing to do in the world when you're always worried about what other people think. It feels so selfish. I know, because I had to take that route as well. It felt so selfish to me at first. But as you do it a little bit at a time, when you really start to feel some of the things, feel some of that grief, feel some of that pain that you feel from not mattering. And that's when you're going to start to take your life back. And so I'll leave you with also your 2025 reading that I did for you. And so Libra, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. You know, getting the love, getting more love in your life, and doing this healing journey is the hardest thing that you'll ever have to do, you know, to heal yourself. But it's the most important thing. And so have compassion for yourself. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.